Hey guys, what's up? It's Eric Paul, and it's time for the Western Conference Finals between the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers. And just like last time, these teams played in the Western Conference Finals. It's going to go to Game 7, but this time the Kings are out for revenge, and they're going to try to win. They're going to do their best to win. The Lakers, since this was the beginning of the season, the NBA season when I started this association, are overpowered in every way, shape, and form, even though it was proven down the road that this team just wasn't very good. Kobe Bryant was still good until he broke his Achilles tendon, but for the most part, the whole team just was out of sync. On the other hand, the players I have on this team, especially Rudy Gay, Isaiah Thomas, and James Harden, had amazing seasons, and they're playing exactly how they do in real life, very, very well. And I've improved their skills to get to this point, and this Kings team is essentially unstoppable. I can't lose with this team. You're going to see a lot of threes. And trust me, I only made about half of them. I'm just showing the ones I made for the most part. But what I want to talk about is the recent NBA Finals just finished up between the Miami Heat and the San Antonio Spurs. And I just want to say about it that I was absolutely right with my prediction. I said it would go to Game 7, and it did, and the Heat would win, and they did. It wasn't even a contest, really. I mean, it was set in stone that they were going to win. And, I mean, the Spurs should have won Game 6, and they tried their best not to. Like, they tried to lose. It was pretty obvious. The bad coaching by Greg Popovich, that's just not really possible. You know, it's not like he really made those mistakes on accident. He did it on purpose because in the bigger picture, the Heat needed to win that finals. So people wouldn't get all pissed off. At least, you know, people in that area. I wanted the Spurs to win because I discovered a team in the Spurs that was very balanced, well put together, and deserving of a championship. They were actually the best team this year. I can't believe I'm saying this, but they really were. That's why they just absolutely dominated in the playoffs. And they probably would have won Game 6 had they not completely thrown it away on purpose. But that's besides the point. I also want to say about the NHL, I said in another video that series between the Blackhawks and the Bruins would go to either Game 6 or Game 7. Well, it's Game 6 tonight, and the Bruins are probably going to win. And I thought about it for a long time, and I thought, well, why would the Blackhawks win? They've really got nothing sentimental about that city right now. Boston is still recovering from the marathon bombing. So the Bruins are probably going to win Game 6 and Game 7. But who knows? Hockey is weird sometimes, and sometimes the team that's not supposed to win will win anyway. So I'm not counting out the Blackhawks, but they're probably not going to win. So that's that for the playoff talk. And when I come out with the next round of the playoffs for George Seabrook, I'll come out with those after Game 7, the second round, so I can address the NHL playoffs and how they ended up. So anyway, in this commentary here, the Lakers are actually winning. They were winning by quite a bit, and right there, the Kings managed to tie it up again. The thing is, though, at this point in the game, the Lakers started to sag off. They started to get tired and overstretched because one thing that I always said from the beginning of the season of the actual basketball season is the Lakers have zero depth, and it's going to show up in this game because they only have 5 good players that can hold a team. And this Kings team has 9 good players. You know, even the bench players could essentially start for a little while at least. They can at least hold their own while the starters get a rest. And the Lakers don't have that. So every time they would sub out their starters, I would just go ham and just crush them because they wouldn't be good. They just weren't good. You know, Steve Blake is a decent point guard, but he's no starter. He's no starter. Steve Nash is old. It doesn't show in this game, but he's a very, very old point guard, and it really shows in his playing. And right there, that 3 really did it. Isaiah Thomas was just unstoppable in this game. And Marcus Thornton made a few clutch 3s as well to keep the Kings with a good lead. Without his presence on the court, it would have been a much closer game, believe it or not. But Isaiah Thomas again with the huge 3 to give the Kings another lead over 10. Great behind the back, almost no look pass to DeMarcus Cousins to increase the lead. And then another great pass again. The Lakers have to call a timeout. And this game is starting to wind down. And with this shot, it's pretty obvious the Kings are going to win this game. And the Lakers, after that point, called a timeout and subbed out all of their starters. They completely gave up. It was ridiculous and funny. But the Sacramento Kings avenge their fallen comrades in 2002, where they should have won a championship. And they made it to the NBA Finals. Now, the East isn't as weak as it was in 2002. Obviously, they're going to have to face the Miami Heat because it showed up on the bracket. They beat, I think it was the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's it. This might be the last game in Sleep Train Arena that I'm going to show because the Kings are probably going to beat the Heat pretty easily. But coming up here should be the player of the game, and that is Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was unbelievable in this game. He had a ton of assists, and he scored a lot. Like that, like so many 3s, and it really shows how close he is to really being a truly great shooter in the NBA. Even though he's 5'9", he's got such great control of his shot. I really do hope the Kings actually utilize him more than they already do and make him a true presence on that team. But 13 assists and almost a triple-double with 8 rebounds and 33 points. That's impressive. But you can see the 3-point shots just weren't really going down, so I had to throw up a lot. But anyway, you're gonna see the bracket coming up here, and it was a sweep for the Heat against the Bulls. So the Kings will be facing off against the Heat in the NBA Finals.